update you on all the running stories, and connect you to the newsmakers.
City News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News, live from our studio at number 11, Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Eno Safo, and this afternoon I'm here with
Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
Coming up, implicated police officers in alleged plot to remove IGP continue with his testimony before Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee investigating the matter. Also coming up, Bolgatanga University branch of the Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana and the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana suspend strike.
Sometimes you need to be cruel to be, I think they say you need to be cruel to be nice or something. It's important to get these things right. So we are back to work. The strike is suspended. Everybody's expected to report to work.
Still ahead in the bulletin, Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority intercepts 700 fake ECG meters in the Volta region. And later, District Court grants notorious mobile money fraudster arrested at Kaswa bail. We'll bring you the details. All that and more on the Citi Prime News, which is live on our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we're live on Premier 100.5 FM in Takoradi and Beach 105.5 FM also in Takoradi. In the Bunu region, we're live on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyang. In the Ashanti region, Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're live on Global 105.1 FM in Ho. At Danu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya. In the Northern region, we're live on Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In the Upper West region, Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In the Upper East, Source 100.1 FM in Boko. And in the Northeast region, we're live on Scarp 101.3 FM in Nanpanduri. The news is also live across the globe on citynewsroom.com, Citi 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for joining us. Let's settle for the details of our stories. The Parliamentary Committee investigating a leaked audio recording of some persons allegedly plotting the removal of the IGP has adjourned for an hour and a half to allow COP George Mensah, a key witness, to compare the contents of the tape to the transcribed version. This follows a refusal of the Commissioner of Police to answer questions about which portions of the transcript did not represent his words. Here are excerpts of the interaction between COP George Mensah, his lawyer, and members of the committee.
Committee is to establish the authenticity of the tape. And so when you said it wasn't all that clear yesterday, and then your counsel followed up with a request for the written version, I was of the view that when you get a copy, you go through from the beginning to the end. And therefore, you'll be able to indicate to us, this committee, statements that have been attributed to you that are incorrect. And so that when you say that, oh, it has been tampered with, then you say, oh, this statement was attributed to me as having been made by me, this. But I didn't say that. This is what I said. And that will give us a fair appreciation of where you're coming from. So going through this document that we have been giving you, the written version of the audio, which statement in this, which is attributed to you, that you did not make? Is there any statement in there that is attributed to you, but you did not make that statement? Mr. Chair. if I sit here and I say that I'm going to come up with the list of the things that are in the transcript, which I did not say, or what I said, I'm not ready. Because he only gave us the transcript. They didn't give us the audio.
You see, you had the benefit of listening to the audio. Listen carefully. Commissioner, have patience. You had the benefit of listening to the audio. And remember yesterday, I was even asking you that you think somebody's trying to improvise your voice. You remember those questions? Now, this committee had the benefit of what you listened to yesterday. And this committee has no incentive to do a transcription outside the audio. You don't have an incentive to do that. So whatever you listen to is a transcription we've delivered to you on paper. And it's asked you a pointed question. You see, that relating to the matters attributed to you on the audio, which has been faithfully transcribed. What are the matters that you distance yourself from? And what are the matters you affirm? I think it's a fairly simple question. Or you want to just say, you should throw the whole audio in the bin and your voice was not on it and the transcription is of no consequence. You need to take a stand on this matter because it's very, 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 very serious on the matter of integrity.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As I stated earlier on, this audio has been edited. Serious edit has gone to this audio. So most of the things that I heard and which has been transcribed, I cannot sit here and confirm or deny.
Yesterday, you swore on oath and you made an admission of your own voice on the edited audio. Is that not so?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
What I said yesterday was that the voice sounds like my voice, but I cannot confirm that that's my voice because of modern technology. Anything can be done.
Now you want to tell the committee that what is on the audio is not what you said because probably it's been doctored.
Some, I said it, which I've confirmed it. Some, I cannot remember saying it. I cannot confirm it.
See,
but the reason why I'm unable to answer his question is that you want me to sit here and then list. I can't do that.
You heard excerpts of the interaction between COP George Mensah, his lawyer, and members of the committee. Still on that matter, COP George Mensah also mentioned that Dr. George Akufu-Dampare has been the worst IGP within the 31 years he's been within the police service.
Yesterday, you made it clear to the committee that Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, the Inspector General of Police, is not managing the police well. Have you ever had an opportunity to express this, either directly to him or at the police management board meeting?
Honorable member and the honorable chair, several opportunities. And what I said yesterday, if you give me the chance today, I will say so again. He is not managing the police service well. And for me, for the 31 years that I've been in the service, I can tell you he's the worst IGP we've ever had in this country.
Please hold on. Yesterday, we realized that if we are not careful, this will be a trial of the entire police service, which will have national security implications. And therefore, every line of questioning which we want to bring about the issue of the IGP and his competence and the rest of the matters will give you the opportunity in camera, so we listen to you. So members, let's have it at the back of our minds. You see, if we are not careful, understand, then we are trying the IGP in his absence by what he's pronouncing, which will not be a good way to handle the matter. So please, let's leave that area. For good measure, an opportunity will be given you in camera. Now, what do you believe with your 31 years of experience is a problem with the entire police setup, the head being the IGP? You let us know, and we'll know how we'll glean meaning and substance from what you say and incorporate it in some of the recommendations that we'll do. So, Superintendent, I crave your indulgence. Let's leave that area and deal with the main issues.
Again, you heard excerpts of the interaction between COP George Mensah and members of the committee.
The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has intercepted over 700 fake meters at Dabala Junction in the Volta region, which were being smuggled into the country. The interception was the result of a collaboration between the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, and various security agencies under the company's Operation Zero exercise to rid the country of fake meters which are causing financial loss to the state. Speaking to Citi News, the Volta Regional Public Affairs Director of the ECG, Benjamin Obin-Enchi, advised customers to desist from purchasing and installing fake meters in their homes.
As part of our operation, what we have noticed is that some customers are consuming power illegally without paying as a result of obtaining meters through illegal means, i.e. foreign meters. So we have engaged the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, we have engaged the Ghana Navy, we have engaged the military, and then the Afro Border Customs Patrol as well to assist us, because we have noticed that some meters are coming through Togo. These foreign meters, once they come, they get into our system, and then customers use these meters illegally, and it becomes difficult for us to capture them. When these meters are installed on our blind side, we don't have any idea about it. When customers are using such meters, it affects our commercial operations as well as our technical operations. These customers consume power illegally and then on the blind side, so they end up consuming power. Then even in terms of that, even customers who are using these meters are not safe, because these meters can cause fire outbreaks in their premises as well. The customers should desist from purchasing these meters or acquiring these meters and then visit the nearest TV office for their selling.
That was the Volta Regional Public Affairs Director of the ECG, Benjamin Obin-Enchi.
Now, members of the Bolgatanga Technical University branch of the Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana have resumed work following the suspension of their strike. The association members embarked on the strike over issues related to the non-implementation of their conditions of service and concerns regarding changes to retirement benefits proposed by the university's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Samuel Anah. In an interview with Citi News, the chairman of the association, Dr. Oswald Atiga, said he is hopeful that management would honor the agreement.
On Tuesday, the council chairman, in the presence of two other members of the council, so the council chairman plus two other members of the council, met management on one hand and met the unions on the other hand. And we after a lengthy discussion for almost 4 hours, we came to the conclusion that yes, anybody who was going on retirement should be paid from his polytechnic days, from date of employment to present day. Once we had that agreement, we think we are good. We have suspended these actions, hoping that the understanding we had between we, the unions on one hand, and management on the other hand, chaired by the University Council chairman, we know this brings finality to this disturbance. Sometimes you need to be cruel to be, I think there's a say, you need to be cruel to be nice or something. It's important to get these things right. Yes. So we are back to work. The strike is suspended. Everybody's expected to report to work.
Dr. Oswald Atiga is the chairman of the Bolgatanga Technical University branch of the Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana.
5 nationals of some West African countries have been banned from entering the Republic of Niger. This is according to a Beninese news portal. The nationals are from Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, and Ivory Coast. On July 26, 2023, the military in Niger toppled the President Mohamed Bazoum. Presidential Guard Commander General Abdul Rahman Chiani proclaimed himself the leader of the military junta. Niger's co-leader has promised to return power within 3 years. He made the announcement after meeting mediators from the West African Regional Bloc, ECOWAS.
The Kaswa Akwele District Court, presided over by His Worship Stephen Oforiakresi, has granted bail to a serial Momo fraudster operating in Kaswa and its neighboring areas within the central region. The suspect faces a charge of falsely obtaining electronic payment in violation of the Electronic Transactions Act 2008 Act 772. For more details, let's Central Regional Correspondent Calvis Tete has more.
Multiple mobile money vendors in Kaswa municipality have fallen victim to the tactics employed by Emmanuel Dawson, a 33-year-old taxi driver residing in Opeikuma, a suburb of Kaswa. Dawson's method involves initiating a small transaction with a Momo vendor and then requesting the contact information of the business owner, feigning interest in a substantial transaction. Subsequently, he copies the WhatsApp display picture of the business owner, creates a new WhatsApp account using this image, and initiates a conversation involving himself, the unsuspecting vendor, and the vendor posing as the business owner. In this elaborate scheme, Dawson convinces the vendor to transfer money into another Momo account where he later withdraws the funds. His arrest came after he defrauded a female vendor of 2,500, prompting a week-long investigation by the Police Intelligence Unit under DSP Alex Obriyeboa. Numerous victims have come forward to testify against the suspect since his arrest, prompting a series of hearings at the Kaswa District Police Command. Despite the gravity of the charges, the Kaswa Akwele District Court, presided over by His Worship Stephen Oforiakresi, granted Dawson a bail in the amount of 20,000 cedis. This bail comes with the condition of providing 2 sureties, including one with verified landed property to be confirmed by a government worker earning no less than 2,000 cedis. Michael Latte, legal counsel for the accused, who pleaded not guilty, argued the bail on the grounds that Dawson poses no flight risk and has a well-established and permanent place of residence. Latte also emphasized that all offenses are eligible for bail. The judge's decision to grant bail acknowledges the impact of the Momo fraud on the economy. The bail's purpose is to ensure the protection of the suspect's rights. The denial of bail could lead to unwarranted assumption of guilt, especially considering the judge's upcoming leave.
That report was filed by Central Regional Correspondent Calvis Tete. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live on 97.3 Citi FM. When we return, calm has returned to Godenu near Wigbe in the Hohoi municipality of the Volta region. We'll bring you details of these and many other stories. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
It's time for the ultimate corporate sports gathering, the Citi Business Olympics 2023. Get ready to unleash your competitive spirit and showcase your athletic prowess as we bring together the best of the best from the corporate world. From traditional sports like seven-a-side football, basketball, sack race, and volleyball to unique challenges like tug of war and arm wrestling, there's no shortage of excitement and adrenaline pumping action. So gather your colleagues, lace up your sneakers, and get ready to compete in the Citi Business Olympics. It's time to show off your skills, build connections, and have a blast in the ultimate corporate sports extravaganza. To register your company to participate, call 0205-973-973 or 0558-973-973 now. Which company will emerge as champion and which CEO will win the ultimate CEO's challenge at the Citi Business Olympics 2023? We will find out on the 30th of September 2023. Venue, Eden Heights Sports Complex. Wager, time 8 a.m. The Citi Business Olympics 2023 is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and proudly sponsored by Unicom Chemists Limited and EK Brand Consults.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Calm has returned to Godenu near Wigbe in the Hohoi municipality of the Volta region, where two persons lost their lives during a confrontation with the police. The police in a statement said members of the community set a police vehicle ablaze, resulting in the arrest of some 12 persons. The community, on the other hand, is accusing the police of causing destruction to their properties and looting from their shops. Citi News' correspondent Benjamin Aklama has more in this report.
According to reports, the incident began to occur, and this is where the police vehicle fell after it allegedly knocked a motor rider whom, according to residents, was suspected to be transporting Indian hemp. They are alleging that the police deliberately knocked the victim down into the drain there and lost balance by itself, fell here and got bent, possibly by some electrical fault. They are also alleging that the police, after the burning of the vehicle here, came back to the town, ransacked the town, burnt down their vehicles, they destroyed their cars, especially burning down motorbikes, and in some cases, looting from shops. So some of the residents in the community who plead anonymity are sharing some of the events that occurred yesterday. Chief, tell me what happened yesterday.
Yesterday, around 9:45 a.m., I was in my house when I heard a gunshot. So I quickly asked my neighbors what is going on. They said there's an accident involving police vehicle and one motor rider, and the motor rider passed away. So where the thing happened, the village name is Godenu, being Godenu Hohoi municipality. So I wanted to rush to the scene. But before I get to the roadside, I learned the vehicle involved in the accident catch fire by itself. So for security reasons, I don't want to involve myself by going there. So by 20-30 minutes time, a team of police vehicles bypassed me to the scene. So all of a sudden, they started shooting, and beside me, one of my brothers fell. And before we rushed him to the hospital, he passed away.
The paramount chief for Tagbe Care says the community believes the police were deliberate in visiting atrocities upon them.
Scene where the accident occurred, where the police are claiming that the motor rider fell, and in an attempt to avoid him, the vehicle went into the gutter. It's not true. You realize that this place is so bad. So the motor rider slowed down, and in that process, they got nearer him with the speed they were coming from the colonial side. And here exactly, they knocked him. So the pressure was so much that He fell and dragged on the ground for a little and fell into the gutter there. Then the car continued. But you know, the place is bushy. So if you're not familiar with the terrain here, you think it's a flat land. So the car continued. Some few meters, you realize that it went into the ditch. And you saw the drag, the mark on the culverts, meaning that they were at very top speed. So what they are saying that the motor rider fell in an attempt to dodge him, the car went into the ditch, is not the true story.
So you don't agree with that narrative?
No. We don't. It was a deliberate, calculated attempt, and it has resulted into all what you are seeing.
The MP for the area, Honorable John Peter Amewu, condemned the incident and promised to do his best to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book.
I know the mindset of the police is gradually changing, considering the tremendous amount of work the current IGP is trying to put in. But I'm highly disappointed. Maybe his efforts are not being realized. Vandalism by the police at its highest level, where vehicles belonging to chiefs have been vandalized, bent, number of motorbikes that I've counted so far in excess of 50. Vehicles being vandalized, I think about 10 or so, if I'm right. I don't see how the citizens could be breaking their own chief's vehicles. It's quite unfortunate. And my only plea is just to calm the community, you know, and the good people of my constituency and the chief and the elders, ask them to exercise restraint. There are laws in this country, and the police are not above the law. Neither are the citizens above the law. I can assure them that any police that is found culpable of these barbaric incidents that they witness on the people they are expected to protect will be brought to book. Similarly, if it's the citizens that are also at fault, the law will take its course. So I'm just appealing to my good people of this constituency to exercise some level of calmness as we progress. I've been on the phone with the IGP. He will be coming himself. I spoke with the Minister of Defense. I spoke to the National Security Minister. So the government, of course, is taking this issue very, very seriously. You are the people we are supposed to govern. And so we need to protect you.
At least we counted not less than 40 motorbikes that were bent, and the MP says that he's received a record of over 50 motorbikes that were touched in this community yesterday. The vehicles belonging to the chief of the community were smashed, the windscreens were smashed, and shops were invaded, and there are concerns that produce from the shop were looted. More so, there were cutlass marks on fridges and water tanks and what have you in the community. The people here are basically demanding justice from the authorities. Reporting for Citi News, I'm Benjamin Aklama.
Let's do more stories now. The Achimota District Court has imposed a 1,200 cedi fine on Elijah Nsempa, an employee of the Tesano Palace Hostel who was apprehended by the Okaikwe North Municipal Assembly Task Force for releasing effluent into drains. In response to a tip-off, the Assembly conducted an operation at the hostel prompted by allegations that occupants of the facility had been discharging septic tank waste into the frontage drains via a PVC pipe. During the operation, the hostel's management was absent, resulting in the arrest and detention of the receptionist at the Tesano police station. Subsequently, Elijah pleaded guilty and was granted bail to the tune of 5,000 cedis and one surety. Delight John C., the prosecutor for the Okaikwe North Municipal Assembly, provided further insight into the case outcome during an interview with Citi News.
The other day, so the court ordered them to go and update the news, which they have done based on the reports from the investigators that they have complied with the court order. So, first finds 100 penalty units, or that is equivalent to 1,200, or indeed for 2 months imprisonment. But they have paid the fine. People who are connected to their septic tanks, knowingly or unknowingly, they should desist from that practice because it's a criminal offense against the laws of Ghana, and everybody to keep the environment safe.
Delight John C. is the prosecutor for the Okaikwe North Municipal Assembly.
The Ghana Prison Service has set up a committee to investigate allegations made against some officers of the Nsawam security prisons by two ex-convicts. The ex-convicts made allegations against some officers of the prison service, citing them for inhumane treatment and misconduct. A statement issued and signed by the acting public relations officer of the Ghana Prison Service, Superintendent Ya Prempe Sifa, said the service will not shield any officer found culpable of any of the allegations and any act that contradicts the rules and regulations of the service. The statement said the service was committed to safe custody, humane treatment, reformation, and reintegration of inmates to make them responsible, productive, and law-abiding to ensure public safety.
The Ministry of Roads and Highways has held a stakeholders consultative forum to merge the Ghana Highways Authority, the Department of Urban Roads, and the Department of Feeder Roads. The bill proposed by the Ministry and the Attorney General's Department has been approved by President Akufo-Addo. In an interview with the media after addressing the stakeholders at Koforidua in the Eastern Region, the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amoako-Attah, said the integration aims to streamline operations, enhance coordination, and maximize the impact of investments in the road sector.
We bring all these three agencies together as one body, for proper coordination, for proper management, for proper efficiency of the road sector, and it will be more cost effective. That is what we are trying to do. So we have met here to think through this proposal. That's why we have also, as I've said, invited different shades of opinion to look at it, so that at the end of the day, we will have one body. So that whether you are working in the highway sector or the urban road sector or the federal road sector, is immaterial. You are working under the same authority.
Kwesi Amoako-Attah is the Minister for Roads and Highways. Now, the Eastern Regional Minister said Kwame Echampong, who expressed concern about the deplorable roads linking the regional capital, made a passionate appeal to the ministry to make some improvements in that regard.
Both the capital of the Eastern Region connects with the N6, the N4 and the N2, the N6 at Suhum and at Bunsu. And like we said, for us, our primary concern is the connections into Koforidua. Coming from Nkrakang into Koforidua is very in a deplorable state. Similarly, from Manfi to Koforidua is in the same state, as well as Suhum to Koforidua is also in a very bad state. And once we are having a conversation with the Roads and Highways Ministry, it is proper and right that we advertise the thinking, the concerns of the residents of the Eastern Region, and in particular members of Koforidua, so that it is clear and abundantly clear before everybody that we are also looking forward to having some improved road infrastructure and improvement on what we exist on, because it is proper that we get it. This is our regional capital. It cannot be less than any other place, so we want it in prime.
That was the Eastern Regional Minister, Seth Kwame Echampong.
NPP activist Hobson Adoye has told Citi News he has presented before the party's Presidential Elections Committee evidence of allegations of vote buying in the August 26th Special Delegates Congress. Hobson Adoye, who served as an agent for flag bearer aspirant Alan Chimatin at the NPP headquarters, was summoned to appear before the disciplinary committee over the allegations. Instead, he appeared before the Elections Committee on Thursday, chaired by Professor Michael Ukwe. Hobson Adoye tells Citi News he still stands by his allegations.
So I went there, then gave them what transpired, that at the center, nothing as such happened. Only that when the chief of staff came there, after voting, instead of her going, she decided to stay at the Women's Organizers office, which was about 10 meters from the ballot box. And when people cast their votes, they called them into that office. As to what transpired there, we cannot tell. But we suspect or we suspected that something fishy was going on there. And we also saw someone carrying a brown envelope to the office. So I gave that evidence to the committee. And they asked whether I have an evidence. And I told them, since we have CCTV cameras at the headquarters, where the door is, the camera will capture it. So they can go and then play back the footage of 26 August. And they will know that chief of staff was in that room for more than 1 hour and people have been called to the room during that period. So after that, if they have any other things that maybe they need a clarification, I can do it. So basically, that's what I told them. And it was based on that. In fact, I reported the incident to the police and then the electoral officials to make sure they get the woman out of the station. But, that couldn't materialize. So that's what transpired at the meeting.
NPP activist Hobson Adoye.
And some fisher folks at Elmina in the central region and its environs have commended the Akufo-Addo government for the rehabilitated and expanded Elmina fishing harbour. The president commissioned the €84 million project 3 months ago. The fisher folks say it has already had a positive impact on their lives. There is more in this report.
After a long day's work on the high seas, a fishing vessel loaded with men and fishes is docking at the Elmina fishing harbour. While at it, expectant buyers take position to get the best of deals. This vessel is worth 120,000 Ghana cedis and the owner has 8 of them. Until recently, when President Akufo-Addo commissioned the rehabilitated and expanded Elmina fishing harbour, this vessel couldn't dock at Elmina. It rather journeyed to Sekindi. That is because the old harbour, which is merely a chaotic gathering of canoes along the canal, could not contain the vessel nor facilitate its docking. But now, that story has changed. The all-new Elmina fishing harbour boasts of a civil and marine infrastructure, including a south breakwater of 450 meters in length and cubic ports round head. It has a north breakwater of 160 meters in length tied to the existing sea defense wall. Elmina Fishing Harbour has a large basin of 65,000 square meters with dredge depths between 3 meters to 5 meters, including an 80-meter tourist quay at the Elmina Castle. It has an administration block with viewing decks, a new fishing market, net mending area, auction hall, and my favorites, a public toilet and a daycare center for toddlers. Nana Kwao Otu is the owner of the fishing vessel that just docked. He is impressed with the work done. I am impressed with the harbour. The government has done well. I have 8 of these boats. Each cost 120,000 Ghana cedis. We are all excited as fisher folk. We are happy. He speaks of how it has created jobs and opened up the market in Elmina.
Elmina is different. Why you have boname papa. Into my mind for no. You to me by a fish or hack.
The Elmina harbour has been transformed. Those of us from Mumford come here to fish. What we have at Mumford is not good enough. We wish it could be upgraded as well. The harbour has created a good economic climate for Nana Kofi Ejiri is the 2020 National Best Fisherman. He has 45 men working for him and 8 different fishing vessels. He has come to the harbour to wait for his vessels. He speaks of how the new harbour has impacted them positively. Every fisherfolk here is glad. We salute the president for a great job done. Many people here are from Tema and Sekondi. Thanks to the rehabilitation and the expansion, it has made it possible for large fishing vessels to dock here. For the youth, it has been an empowering enterprise.
I for tell you, say no, here where they can make this one a good pass other one. So some people get money for here pass the old one. You hear what I'm saying? So if the fishermen come, they come, put it in my fish for here, and the woman too, they get some to buy it to go check, right? Yeah.
What has improved in this harbour?
It's good. It's good. You know what I'm saying?
What are you seeing here that you like? What do you see here that you like?
Okay, what we can do this harbour, we thank God for Nana Akufo-Addo. If you know we can't do this thing for we right now, we'll get flavor for ourselves, right? Yeah.
Millicent Manford deputizes for the Queen of the Fisher Folk here, and she says the harbour expansion has been good for business.
First, now you get now you turn no more, but you are drum. Both are casting in our first now walk second, but in the fine, I'm a crebu or the Baha. Into Ama Yanina, Yanuaji, the baby Damoro.
We used to sail around the old gates. Thanks to the rehabilitation works, the large vessels no longer go to Sekondi. We are happy our businesses are going on well. We thank the NPP government. The rehabilitation has not changed the price of our fishes. Prices are seasonal.
Season. Into I don't know. Yamiadum Kakakra, and Tome Buno form. But in Bribi Baba, Bunda no so awkward.
She's, however, not happy with how her fellow traders litter the facility, a situation she says she and her executives are working on.
But you could do why an impanku could do our there. Would you now? Why are
the harbour is neat. However, some persons have begun littering around. That's because they've never visited other harbours before, so we are sensitizing them against littering.
An outboard motor repairer here, Pa Kojo Mensa, is advocating the distribution of dustbins to be kept in the canoes and fishing vessels to improve the sanitation situation. Fisher folks are difficult, so distributing free bins with supervision will ensure we keep the harbour clean.
The Elmina Fishing Harbour is a clear case of infrastructure sparing development, and the fisher folk here have attested to the fact that the quality of their lives has increased as a result of the improved infrastructure over here. For Citi News, I am Caleb Kuda.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live on 97.3 Citi FM. Still to come, National Petroleum Authority indicates that the cylinder recirculation model will operate concurrently with the existing model. Do stay with us for the details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
sɛ nsuo a ɛyɛ nsuo sɛ yɛn nsa nso a ɛyɛ nsa.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays, ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News stories we've brought you so far. Implicated police officers in alleged plot to remove IGP are currently on a break, and they will return so that he continues with his testimony before the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee investigating the matter. We've also brought you a story where Bolgatanga University branch of the Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana and the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana have suspended their strike. And we've also brought you a story where the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority have intercepted 700 fake ECG meters in the Volta region. Also, we've told you about the district court granting a notorious mobile money fraudster who was arrested at Kaswa bail. Do remember that we're streaming live across the globe on citinewsroom.com, on Citi 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube. And we're also live on our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we're live on Premier 100.5 FM in Takoradi and Beach 105.5 FM also in Takoradi. If you are in the Bono region, then you're listening to us on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyang. If you're in the Ashanti region, Kumasi to be precise, you're listening to us on Orange 107.9 FM. In the Volta region, we're live on Global 105.1 FM in Ho. In the Volta region, we're also live on Adanu 107.1 FM in Adaklu Waya. In the Northern region, we're live on Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In the Upper West, we're live on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. If you're in the Upper East region, you're listening to us on Source 100.1 FM in Boko. And in the Northeast region, we're live on SCAP 101.3 FM in Nanpanduri. Let's bring you some more stories. Justice Samuel Kofi Dateba, a retired Supreme Court justice, has said that despite the rise in the number of books written by Ghanaian legal scholars, legal academia in Ghana needs to raise its game and produce more scholarships to assist the judiciary in its adjudication.
My functionalist legal philosophy implies that I think about the societal impacts of legal scholarship and adjudication from its low points before the 1960s to its increasing influence in contemporary times. In the Ghanaian jurisdiction, we went ahead of the UK in appointing to the Supreme Court a professor straight from the university in the 1970s, was of course Professor Kwamina Bentienso. The Ghanaian courts have indubitably been assisted by English and other text writers. Our judges have not shown the same lack of respect for the work of academic lawyers, which was evident in England. Because legal scholars focus on an analytical exposition of the law, they provide a broader context for the resolution of particular issues that may confront judges, whose principal focus will often be the facts of the case before them.
Justice Dateba is cautioning members of the bar, said it is easy to fall into the error of monistic application of the law under the pressure of the day-to-day discharge of the responsibilities of their specific legal roles. He has, however, charged members of the bar in concert with other relevant stakeholders to reflect on that purpose in the decision-making in their specific legal rules.
The minority in Parliament is demanding the arrest of the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. The minority says Dr. Addison has breached a number of financial regulations at the bank, which has to be investigated. Speaking at a public forum in Accra, the Bako Central MP Mahama Ayariga says the law should be applied.
That any person who contravenes a provision of the Act has committed an offence, and upon summary conviction, the person is to suffer not less than 500 penalty units or not less than 2 years, no more than 2 years imprisonment. So the offence is clear. He hasn't denied it. The punishment is clearly defined. At any time in his life, he can be subjected to prosecution, whether this government does it or not.
You heard the Bako Central Member of Parliament, Mahama Ayariga.
The National Petroleum Authority says the implementation of the cylinder recirculation model will be concurrent with the existing distribution model until it is fully phased out. The model involves refilling LPG cylinders at large refilling plants and subsequently supplying them to consumers at specialized retail outlets known as exchange points. On the first day of implementation, Citi News' visit to some LPG stations revealed that the implementation had not yet commenced. The authority explained that the refilling plants are at various stages of completion, causing a delay in the rollout. Speaking to Citi News, the head of gas in charge of commercial regulation at the authority, Obed Crane Boache, indicated that consumers can still visit their LPG filling stations to refill their cylinders until exchange points are established in their communities.
How do you think this is going to work? So you take your cylinder to a refilling point and then you take a new one?
I remember when they introduced it some time back, Ghanaians were against it. And I'm sure it's still going to be the same thing. People were complaining that other cylinders look very bad, and then you take
see
your
some
new
of them,
one.
and then you have to take an old one home.
Yes, but I'm guessing when your old one goes there, they'll probably refurbish it and then,
Let's
put
hope
it back
for
into circulation.
the best. We'll bring you that voice shortly. Now, moving on, the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service is in discussions with the Ministry of Roads and Highways to urgently repair all malfunctioning street lights, traffic lights, across the country. The commander of the police MTTD, COP Francis Doku, expressed concern that the non-functioning traffic lights are affecting their work. He stressed the importance of addressing this issue promptly in an interview with journalists.
We owe it a duty to also add our voice to the malfunctioning traffic lights. It will be difficult for us to get into that arena. So we are still in talks with the road ministry and other agencies whose work is to ensure that the traffic lights are functioning. Once the traffic lights begin to function and as the sensitization on the traffic tech project goes on, we believe that we'll get to our desired destination.
He had a commander of the police MTTD, COP Francis Doku.
Let's go back to that earlier story where the National Petroleum Authority is saying that the implementation of the cylinder recirculation model will be concurrent with the existing distribution model until it is fully phased out.
So what we are saying is we are running the old model the model we know now. We are running it side by side of the cylinder recirculation model. What it means is that the refilling station where you have been filling your cylinders all this while, when you go there in the meantime, you can still fill your cylinder to whatever quantity you want and take it home until you see an exchange point pop up in your local area or in your vicinity, and then decide to go there and begin the cylinder exchange. Then from that point on, anytime you are out of gas, you go to that station and then exchange for a filled one.
Okay. And so, do you have specific areas that you are targeting with respect to this whole model?
No, so we are rolling out throughout the entire country. We are rolling out throughout the entire country. However, what we said was that because the initial bottling plants are in Tema and then in Kumasi, there is a likelihood that the rollout will begin in these areas and gradually spread out to the country. But the LPG marketing companies and then the bottling plants are at will to set up at any part of the country where they can track cylinders and then begin to distribute.
You heard the head of gas in charge of commercial regulation at the National Petroleum Authority, Obed Crane Boachi.
The National Service Secretariat is highly confident in its ambitious farming projects aimed at addressing food shortage concerns in various schools across the country. In an effort to combat food security challenges, the National Service Secretariat has acquired a vast land spanning 3 assemblies in the Ashanti region, namely Sechere Afam Plains, Sechere Kumewu, and Asante Achim North. They have already initiated a farming project on a 4,000-acre plot with a successful harvesting of 560 bags of rice. According to the Executive Director of the NSS, Osei ACBNG, these harvested crops would be handed over to the Education Ministry for onward distribution to various schools to support student meals. He says the second batch of harvesting would be done on Monday, September 4. Mr. Osei ACBNG has also expressed the scheme's intention to supply produce from these farms to the Poultry Farmers Association to support the poultry industry.
I think the whole idea of what the Chief Executive of National Service said was that they're going to support the school feeding program. You see, the school feeding program, you can reduce costs when you get products from the farm. Literally, you are buying at warehouse prices, wholesale prices. The items bought here will be cheaper than what you buy from the market, reducing your cost of production, reducing your cost of preparing the meals, also make the project more sustainable because you can feed the children with more, with less money, and they will get more for less. And same thing applies to the free senior high school program. Even though we're going to be buying the produce, we are buying at wholesale prices, and therefore it will lead to a situation where we are reducing cost of feeding students. They're also supporting the setup of school farms, and that together will really create opportunity for the sustainability of our programs, whether it's school feeding or the feeding of students at the high school level. The 1 hot meal for day students and 3 meals for boarding students.
Apologies for that. You heard the Education Minister, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, who lauded the initiative of the National Service Secretariat. Now, he also said in that inset that he's optimistic that by intensifying school farms and collaborating on such projects, the issue of food shortages in various schools can be effectively addressed. Let's now hear the Executive Director of the National Service Scheme, Osei ACBNG.
I think the whole idea of what the Chief Executive of National Service said was that they're going to support.
Apologies for the wrong insets.
But that's how we end today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio here in Adabraka in Accra. My name is Enusafo.
And I am Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
For more news, do log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. Up next is the afternoon's edition of the Citi Business News with Na Shika Caesar. Many thanks for tuning in.